Hey everyone, just gonna post a quick video. I was on a partial break at work today, and I just found this out, Laoshu, I think it's 5,500, 55,000. I just know him as Laoshu. I never really cared about the number. Laoshu is an African-American YouTuber who, for a long time, went viral for his videos of surprising people by speaking foreign languages. I think about 8-9 years ago, I caught wind of Laoshu because he went viral. But part of me really identified with Laoshu. So details haven't come out yet about how and why, but one of the things that got me interested in Laoshu was the reality that it was a black guy speaking like Mandarin. A large percentage of my family, or a decent percentage of my family, like new family, are like Chinese or Taiwanese. So one thing that's always been a thing for me is I can easily identify with many things that may I was exposed to Asian culture for a long time because many of my family members were Asian, but the reality was I really didn't identify. I never learned the language. I did have some more Asian family members who were a little bit more Americanized, and when it came to the way that I interact with other people, the way that I view gender roles and certain things like that, there's definitely an Asian influence there, and I think it was always for the better. Anyways, the reason that I was really receptive to him was because, again, it was a black guy. The guy spoke Chinese, Mandarin, and a lot of other languages that that you wouldn't expect from anyone in general, period. Because not many people, a lot of people don't learn languages, but many unique languages like Somali, or man, I can't even think of so many because there were so many from so many countries that this man did. But one thing that I think about language is when you make an effort to learn somebody else's language, I don't mean like regular phrases, hi, bye. When you make an effort to learn a different group of people's language outside of the generic hi, bye greetings, like mild conversational, I think this opens up more people to being receptive to you. And when it comes to cohesion between groups of people, between different races and ethnicities, even though there's already some diversity and animosity between people within the group of people, Chinese, Asian, Korean, one thing is, because people don't get to try and understand each other. So when you make an effort to learn a language, you also get some insights on their culture. You kind of get some insights on their gender, on norms, cultural norms. And when you speak to other people, it throws them away, it throws them back. Because depending on the host country they're in, them as a foreigner, they'd never expect, someone, especially a black guy, to speak that language. Asians in general are pretty isolated. Not isolated, but we've seen Asian American crime increase, anti-Asian American crime increase as of late. And part of that is due to people not making an effort to learn about people. When it comes to groups of people and COVID and a lot of things now, I think one thing that's going to be happening moving forward due to COVID is I think people are going to be more open and going to make an effort to learn from each other more. But when it comes to Asians more in general, people who have been demonized as of late, especially due to COVID, I think that a lot of the spotlight that Asia has been under, it's important to try to improve the cohesion between people by doing, trying to interact in a variety of ways. Now, language is one way, but what I mean in general is with COVID, it came like Asian communities were disproportionately impacted in the United States. A lot of conspiracy theories came out, a lot of there was a lack of precision identifying different races, different ethnicities that are part of Asia. As long as you had some sort of squinted eyes, people have had this view about people. There was some form of demonization or assumptions that people made based off of just these basic things, right? Squinted eyes. I guess personally for me, after this, through COVID and the crimes against, like, more hate crimes against Asians, it kind of put into perspective some of it kind of put into perspective some of the negative things that are still relevant in our society, that are based off of a lot of really negative stereotypes where people aren't making an effort to learn. And it kind of brought me back to some ideas that, like, members of my family really dealt with, and maybe in certain extended parts of my Asian family, how this may lead to them feeling unwanted. So when I caught wind of a lot of Asian discrimination increasing last year, it kind of made me feel like, damn, like, maybe I should try and reach out to some of my Asian family members more. Maybe I should make an effort to learn, like, Mandarin more. But outside of anime and all these things that I like, Laoshu was like the guy, right? Regardless of race, with all these things happening in the world, we need to make an effort to try and learn from each other. We need to try and make an effort to try and understand each other. We need to try and make an effort to understand the morals and ethics, the cultural norms, the relativism that does come with people who come from different areas. So this is kind of a ramble, but it was crazy. But it's really unfortunate for a man who made such an effort to try and gain insight into other people's lives, and every single video, people were so happy, especially like Asians, like a black guy speaking Asian, especially between black and Asians. There's always this idea that there are degrees of racism within Asian culture, but it's like more intense with black people. And the fact that he'd break through it, and you'd see like a very like, oh, what are you doing coming up to me, into a like, hey, like, damn, like, that's cool, awesome, hey, let me give you like a discount. That's happened more than once. I stopped watching him, then I started watching like Xiao Ma, right? Because I didn't even know that Xiao Ma was like a Jewish guy. Xiao Ma, like, he spoke Mandarin as well, and I think he kind of has the approach of learning different languages as well, and like surprising people. But this is a way that these are one of the ways that we can try and understand each other to improve our well-being. We are in this world together, so I just want to use this to take a chance to try and motivate people to make an effort to try and learn from people and improve the relationships between people by trying to understand them. I've posted some other information on like Asian Boss, some other media that's made an attempt to bridge the gap between Western culture and Eastern culture, specifically Asian culture, places like Indonesia, so on and so forth. And I think just ideas like this are trying to reach out to our Asian brethren, family, because they're human beings and we're the human race. I think making an effort to try and learn from those people, trying to gain some insight on there to push through some of these stereotypes, it will make the world a lot easier. And in terms of the Asian population, them even being more open to us, you got to kind of try and make an effort to understand why people are so isolated. And even though, again, we're separated amongst each other within groups, it increases when there's still friction between groups, even if there's friction within groups. So you make an effort to try and understand other people from different races, ethnicities, and it'll always come back in a lighter sense, networking opportunities and all these things, and it just makes the world a better place. So I like to try to advocate for people to put themselves out there, try to learn a different language, try to do something to just reach out to someone who has a different lifestyle than you. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, really. That's it. Just make an effort to try and learn something from someone else who has a different lifestyle from you. There's too much variety in here, and a lot of the assumptions that people are making due to the variety of the uniqueness that we have leads to so much conflict. So Rest in peace, Laoshu. And make an effort to reach out to your Asian family members. I mean, brethren. Yeah, that's about it. Even in the sense of a family, I mean, we are a family in a sense. We're human beings. This is the human race. We are a family, you know. Shit like this. It's unfortunate he had to die so soon. Comment, like, subscribe. At one point, I'm going to make a video on Asian American violence. I think it's gonna have to be a little bit more precise, because the videos that I have now aren't like that. It's kind of just rambling and shit, but eventually I will. Regarding the Asian hate crimes and all that, I'm definitely going to make some studies. I'm definitely going to make a video on that at some point. Some of my videos you can check, you know, I did have Asian Lives Matter. Check out China Mac when they did have the protest in New York, and he was one of the first who organized it when an Asian woman did get burned, you know, and it was racist. You know, we have to come together and defeat the evil, and part of the evil is xenophobia and ethnocentrism that leads people to staying isolated. We can't do that. Bless ups to Laoshu, big ups, best of wishes to his family. My condolences, and I hope that people use him as an example to try and always learn from other people.